Hey everyone, if you want live interacting classes, please follow the link I have provided in the description of this video. So, uh, welcome to Press Library YouTube channel. Today, in this class, we are going to discuss about what is client, what is server, and what is communication channel, and what is the difference between a database and a relational database. What is the difference between database and relational database? Okay, without any further delay, let's start our session. So here our today's topic name is first. I want to discuss about client. Client, CLIENT, client. So client, we can also call client as front end tool. We can also call client as front end tool. So here I'm going to show you the what is front end. So for understanding purpose, I am opening one website like Book My Show. So in this, we will see the different kinds of movie names and star names and program names, okay, and theater names and all location. So this screen, whatever it is showing, it is this is called as an front end of this application, front end of this application, and whatever the code behind this is called as an let's for example, let's say it is an backend. Let's say it is an backend. Okay, means backend we won't see. Okay, we can't see the backend. Okay, but we will see the only front end. Normal users will see only front end, and they will book the movies by using this front end only. Okay, only developers want to see the backend and code, and testers will see the this code. Okay, so here these are the some front end techniques like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all are comes under front end technologies. Okay, so the client will check the application by some most of the times by front end only. Okay, um, if the client is from performance testing side, then he will see the performance bottlenecks and backend also. But most of the clients will see, and most of the client means just for example, you can assume client as user. You can assume client as user. So users do they will see only front end. They don't need to see the back end. Okay. So we can call this client as a front end tool. Okay, client means here user. We can call user as a front end tool. Okay, we can call this client as an front end tool. So now here I am mentioning that point. It is also called as front end tool. Front end tool. Okay. So next, according to end user requirement, according to the user requirement, the developer will design the website. Okay, by using by using one graphical user interface. What is graphical user interface? User interface is nothing but a front end only. User interface or front end. Users will interact with this front end only, right? Okay, users will interact with this front end. Okay, then these all comes under as graphical. Okay, these front end is called, can also called as an graphical. It has in some images, graphics and all. Okay, so this front end is called as a graphical user interface. So according to user requirement, the developer will develop this application. Okay, how, who will develop this application? Developers. Okay, now I mentioning that point here. According to end user requirement, developer design one graphical user interface. Interface. Okay, this is called as graphical user. In short form, we can call GUI. GUI. Okay. According to end user requirement, developer design one graphical user interface application. APPL means application. Otherwise, can call it as application. Now, coming to third point, a client doesn't hold any data. Client doesn't hold or doesn't stop any data. But how they will develop an application? The developer develop the application by using some front end technologies. Some front end technologies. Okay, first I will write that point, and then after I will mention the front end technologies. Okay, client doesn't hold any data. Client doesn't hold any data. Okay, and the front end technologies we are having are HTML. HTML means hypertext markup language, and JS means JavaScript. Okay, and CSS, Cascade style sheet, and UI tech, user interface technologies. UI means user interface tech. Next, Angular JS, Angular JS, etc. Next, now we have to discuss about server. And till now we have discussed about only client. Now we are going to discuss about server. Okay, so here mm, the server can also be called as a backend. The server can also be called as a backend. So here, whatever you are having this data, okay, whatever you are having this data is stored in which one? It is stored in server only, right? Okay, it is stored in server only, and we won't we I mean the normal users don't need to see this code. Okay, don't need to see this code. This is data is stored in server. So uh, uh, it is called as a front end. Now let's assume this is called as a server. Okay, I mean this is an backend. Okay, it is also called as backend. Okay, and it is used to the store the data permanently with the high security. Okay, whatever we are going to store the data, then that data needs some security. If the data doesn't have any security, then hackers will easily hack the servers. Okay, hackers will easily hack the servers. Give me a minute. It is used to store the data permanently with high security. Okay, and now so it accepts client request process and send output to client. Okay, so now if you want to understand this client and server and the communication channel, let's open what happened. No, I am going to show you that in the form of a diagram. So for better understanding, I am going to uh, draw a one diagram. Sorry, let's assume this is an client. This is a client front end. Front end tool. Next, the front end has some username and password, right? So in order to book a movie ticket, then first you need to log in. Okay, so for that login, we have to use username. Next, client. Here I elaborate this one, and password. Okay. Next, here I'm going to take one more rectangular. So let's assume this is an communication channel. communication channel. So these communication channel can all assume as an drivers. And now I had taken already client and communication channel. Now I want to take server. Server, what I have to take for server. Hmm, server. Give me a minute. Suddenly, what happened to this? Okay, okay. Let's assume this is an server. This is an backend. Okay, this is an back end. Now I want to establish a connection between these. First one. Next, so from client to, okay, from client to communication channel and communication channel to server. Next, and now, sorry, I have to take it reverse way. Okay, now, so here the client will send the request to the communication channel and communication channel send that request to server, and server will reply back to communication channel and communication channel will reply back to client. It depends upon the type of request and they will send. Okay, they will send the data, and for this we are going to use some languages. Like for client, they may use some of the scripting languages like Java, .NET, okay, and all, and remaining. And for server, uh, they may use Oracle, SQL, SQL Server. Okay, for this communication channel, they may use uh, JDBC, Java Development Java database connection, and next to ODBC, like that they may use. Next to SQL. Okay, like that they will use. So here this Java will send the request to these technologies. Okay, okay, and these technologies will send data to this. Okay, these technologies. Okay, so here the data is transferred through the communication channel. Client is can assume as a front end and server can assume as a back end. So the data or request can be sent to one by one in this way. Now coming back to uh, our notes. So here what we are going to discuss is it accepts client request process and send output to client. So it accepts server will accept the client request, whatever client will send it will accept server. Okay, and uh, then the output of the server will send to the client through communication channel. Okay, that is what it is saying. So here it accepts client request process and send output and sends output to client. Okay, next, how the server is send the request to the client by using communication channel, by using communication channel. So here the communication channel can also be called as a drivers. Okay, communication channel can also be called as drivers. Do you know what is driver? That usually we use this term drivers when we are going to install the operating system like Windows. After installing the operating system Windows, then we need to install the drivers also. Then only the appearance will become more easy and interactive, and the graphics and all will look like somewhat better than previous. Okay, somewhat better than previous. Just give me a minute. Mhm. So it is also called as drivers. Now, the main functionality of this communication channel is to accept the client request and send to the server. Here what it is doing, it will accept the request from the client and it will send to the server. Okay, its main functionality, its main functionality is to accept request and send to server. Okay, next, it is a mediator between the client and the server. The communication channel is a mediator between the client and the server. Okay, mediator, mediator between client and server. Next, it is a predefined software tool. It is a predefined software tool. The examples of these predefined software tools are JDBC, OODBC, whatever we have mentioned here. Okay, JDBC, OODBC, SQL. So same technology I am going to mention there also. It is a predefined software tool. Okay, examples of these are is JDBC, OODBC, SQL and all. And the examples of server we need to mention what we have taken examples here. Okay, wait. These are the examples of server. Okay, so this is about client and server and communication channel. Now we are going to discuss about what is the difference between a database and relational database. Database and relational database. First I need to mention difference between database and relational database. So In order to understand these difference between these two, then we need to use one table. So I am going to take one table in Word document. So here I am going to take one table which consists of 3 columns and let's, for example, I am taking 3 columns and 6 rows, and this is for serial number, and second column for database, and third column for relational database. Serial number. Okay. Next, database. Here, relational database. Okay. Next, here the first difference between this database and relational database is it is a desktop database. The first this database is a desktop database. It is to support desktop applications only. Okay, it is a desktop database. And next one, it supports client and server architecture. So these relational database supports client and this client and server architecture. Okay, suppose client and server architecture. Next one, second point, and it suppose single user. Is it won't allow multiple users. It supports single user only. But here it supports multiple users. Multiple users. Next thing, here we can share data to, we can't share data to multiple users or systems, but in relational database we can share multiple users and data. We can share this data to multiple users. Okay, we can share that data to multiple users. We can't share data to multiple users or systems. Next, here we can share data to multiple users. Multiple users. Next, fourth one, it provides poor security. Provides poor security. It provides high security. Next, it supports limited relations only. So examples of these limited relations is DBase, Fox Pro, MS Access. Okay, but when coming to relational database, it supports all like Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL. Okay, it supports limited relations only. Okay, examples of these are DBase, Fox Pro, next MS Access, etc. Next, it supports all. So example, Oracle, SQL Server, next MySQL, etc. Okay, these are the difference between relational database and databases. So first point, it is a desktop databases and it supports client and server architecture. So desktop databases are it supports for desktop applications only, and it supports client and server architecture as we have seen here, client and server architecture, and it suppose single user only. So I mean if you want to use this database by multiple users, it won't allow, but here it will allow to use multiple users, and we can't share data to multiple users. So here we can share this database to the multiple users. Whatever data we have, we can send to the multiple users by using these relational databases, and it provides poor security. It provides high security. Without security, the data may be breached, or that may the servers may be hacked. Okay, entire system may be will be collapsed if you don't have any security. Next, it supports limited relations like these are the some examples of uh, earlier databases, and these are the examples of relational databases. uh, it supports these relational database operations like Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, etc. So here we had mentioned Oracle, and so many of them know about Oracle, but why the Oracle is more popular? Why the Oracle is more popular? For understanding this, I am going to write that one also. Why Oracle is more popular than all? So the first point why the Oracle becomes more popular is it provides high security. Provides high security. Next thing, it supports multiple platforms. Multiple platforms. Here platforms are nothing but operating systems. Operating systems like Windows, Mac, and Linux or Unix. Okay, these are comes under in operating systems. Here per platform means operating systems only. Okay, this is about today's session. So before closing the session, let's have an overview of what we have discussed in this class. So first we have discussed about client. So what is client? Client is also called as a front end tool. Okay, client is also called as an front end tool. Okay, and according to end user requirement, developer will design this graphical user interface. So whatever the user can understand according to user requirement, the developers will design this website. Not only this website, any website. Okay, next, client doesn't hold any data. Client doesn't have any data, and the developers will develop the application by using these front-end technologies like HTML, JavaScript, CSS, UI technology, and Angular JS. Okay. Now coming to the server, it is also called as a backend. Okay, in the front end, the users want to interact with only front end, not with the back end. So back end operations will designed by back end developers or other programmers. Okay, and it is used to store the data permanently with high security. So here server will store the information or data with some security. Okay, and it accepts client request process and sends output to the client. So here server will accept the request and sends the request to the client or communication channel. Examples of a server is Oracle and SQL Server. And a communication channel, when coming to communication channel, it is also called as a driver. And the main functionality is to accept request and send to the server. Accept request and send to the server. Request accepting, send to server. Next, it is a predefined software tool. The examples of these software tools are JDBC, ODBC, and SQL. And the difference between database and relational database are now only we have discussed about these. Okay, these are the basic difference of SQL database and relational database. And why Oracle is more popular? Because of its high security and supports multiple platforms. Examples of these multiple platforms are like OSs like Windows, Linux, and Mac. Okay. If you have any doubts regarding this session, then please comment below. Okay. And if you like our content, please comment for content. And if you want latest updates from our channel, hit the subscribe button and you will get latest updates from our channel. Okay, you can share, can help others by sharing this video in your social media networks. It will help for the people who are struggling to start their career in IT. Thanks for watching.